Here we are in our backyard, and we are going to start beautifying this space and start changing it into something that we can use better. Right here we have our old pool base that was behind our single wide, and it is not going to be in our vision that we have for the backyard, so we need to start cleaning it up and get rid of it. We also have leftover concrete here that we've got to clean up as well, and that will start the process.
So we got the majority of the concrete up. Isaac is using a shovel and breaking up some of these capstones that were there when we had the pool here. What I want to do next is get the pallet forks on the tractor and start to disassemble and break up the timbers of this pool base, because we're not going to keep it. Once the timbers are out, we're going to save them for a future treehouse project. Then we'll come back in with a tractor bucket and scoop all this out of the way, showing you what our plan is to actually reuse this for a very good purpose. Right here at the corner, we use some very large lag screws. Thankfully, I was able to find the large Torx bit to fit it. We're going to take these out so it will separate the corners and we'll be able to get these timbers out easier. Here where the two timbers join on the long ends, we just use a mending plate with some Simpson strong tie screws. So we'll zip these guys out next. There we go. All right, we've got all the hardware out of these timbers. So I'm gonna hop on the tractor here, unload the bucket, and then put on the pallet forks. And I'm gonna use them like two giant crowbars. We'll try and pry where the timbers are, lift them up and out, and carefully get them out of the way. Like I said, we're gonna save them for a future treehouse project. At least that's what I think they'll be saved for. But regardless, we don't want to destroy them. These are expensive 4x6s, they're treated wood, they're about 10 feet long. So, save them. It is surprising how well the 1/2-inch rebar is holding this stuff together. Now, these timbers are attached in the corners with some L brackets that were on the inside. We didn't see them until I started to rip them out, but hey, just keep going. I'm gonna try and break this one piece of rebar that's holding this board loose and see if I can get this stuff over there in the woods. Yeah, right. Where's some leverage? All the timbers in the rebar is out of the way. What I'm going to do next with the pallet forks is scoop under the gravel and rock and try and remove the ag fabric that we laid down before we put the rock on top. I'm hoping this will work. You're about to find out. I think all that was just an exercise in waste of time. We'll have to dig this out by hand, I think. Yay.
Well, that didn't quite work like we hoped it would. What we figure we'll do is we're gonna scoop with the bucket the gravel and stuff right here and put it kind of to my left over here and try and make it a flat spot that will be usable. And I guess whenever he goes to scoop it, I will try and pull out the fabric as I can. I have to say that whenever he was pulling it out and you could hear the fabric rip, it was actually really satisfying. A little bit of ASMR right there. But all right, let's go.
All right, I've gotten rid of mostly any evidence of the pool base being there.
I agree.
It did take a while. Goodness, it takes a long time. But I'm thankful we have a tractor. It would have taken a lot longer otherwise.
I'm thankful we still have our power pole.
What? Trust me, I was watching about that and the solar panels the whole time.
Yes, he was being very careful.
And the camera too. Try not to hit you guys. Break the camera, that's expensive. Okay, so this looks great, but the big elephant in the room is, okay, cool. We got rid of the pool base, but why did we do what we're standing on? So for that, you're gonna have to explain a little bit.
Picture, if you will, a nice big greenhouse right here. And then as we move on over this way, there's gonna be garden beds. And then as we move this way, there's gonna be garden beds with the greenhouse right there. And all of this area, which will be very accessible to the house, is going to be our garden.
So that is the plan.
It is.
That's Angela's plan. I'm just here to execute it. Now, actually, I'm really excited about it too. So while we could leave you here, why don't we hit the road and go look at one of those greenhouses we've actually been eyeing?
Sounds good.
The place is closed today, so we should be able to film it and give you guys an idea of the kind of look or vibe that Angela's going for.
Let's go. So here we are inside. It is a 8x16, which is a really good size. There's enough width in here that more than one person can work in here at a time. And there are a lot of counter space to do seedlings, potted plants, whatever it is that we need to do. There's also a lot of windows in here that we can open to let a nice cross breeze go through and not make it so suffocating in here. In the gable end right here, there's enough room that we could put a vent there if needed with a fan on either end so we can get more of a cross breeze in here as well.
I like that the tables are pressure treated plywood with pressure treated 2x4s holding them up, and the floor is also treated. The actual wall studs are not, they're just regular 2x4s, but that's another thing to point out. This is a 2x4 frame structure. Looks like the sidewalls are on 2-foot centers, doubled up on wall studs for the windows, and on the end wall there, honestly, it's more like a 12-inch on center. So this looks to be a very well-built shed or greenhouse. The roof rafters are 2x4s, the prongs are 2x4s, and it looks really nice. This is a Cherokee Structures brand building, and like Angela said, it's an 8-foot wide, 16-foot long. The sidewalls are 6.5 feet tall, and so the peak, if I had to guess, maybe it's 8.5 feet up there. Plenty of space. Now the thing that we don't really like is the color of the outside, but specifically the trim. It's a dark brown, which doesn't really match our color scheme. However, the gray would match our house, and we could very easily paint the brown trim white if we want to try and get this one particular building off of their lot. They're closed today, so we don't have the option to talk to them to ask if we ordered this in certain colors, how long would it take to build, but that's something we'll check into if we decide to get it. We just wanted to let you guys see one that we've drove back and forth several times and we've looked at from the road to kind of give you an idea of what Angela likes and I like, and I don't know, maybe it'll happen.
Well, now we have a blank slate to work with, and can you see it in your mind, what we have planned? I can, and it makes me excited that the garden is going to be so much closer to the house and so much easier to get to, and we'll be able to fix some problems that we did not know were problems whenever we set up our first garden. Well guys, thanks for coming along as we broke ground on our new garden, and we have a blank slate now ready to go. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next time. Bye.